Hello and welcome to the Box Place. My name's Theo Gibb and I repair melodeons and concertinas and other squeeze box instruments. And today I've got a box which has just arrived in the post with the job that I'm going to do today. So let's open the box and see what's inside. So this has been sent to me by a customer who finds that the buttons are too hard to press. So I'm going to feel the buttons. I can't feel anything mechanically wrong, no rubbing, no friction. So it's just that the springs are too strong. So we're going to take the bottom off, take the mechanism out and put in some lighter springs. So we've got this strap on the end which is in the way, so we'll take that off first. So then we've got 4 screws in the corners which hold the cover on. And then the cover plate lifts off, and inside there we've got the mechanism. Have a closer look at that, and the springs that we need to change are right in there. Can't get access, we can see them but we can't get them out. So in order to get at the springs we have to take this whole mechanism and remove it from the case of the instrument, then we can work on it on the bench. Now to do that there are 1, 2, 3, 4 fixing screws, but before we remove those we have to unhook the springs so that the spring tension is released, and to do that we've got a screwdriver with a notch in the end, and that goes in onto the spring, and each spring then unhooks. So now all of the buttons and levers just flop about loose. There's nothing holding them, no spring to return them. So the reason for doing that is if we undid these screws while those springs were still engaged, as the screws came out, the spring tension would pull the screws out of the holes, tear the wood, and when the screws went back in, they would not grip properly. Now we can take the screws out safely without any damage, and these are very small screws. So I can unscrew the screws and then use a pair of tweezers to lift out each screw and put it in a safe place. And now it's a slightly tricky bit of actually getting the whole mechanism out. There's no neat, easy way of doing this. Sometimes the levers have to bend in order to get the thing out. I'm having a lot of difficulty getting this out. It's not usually as hard as this, so I think I might have to take a different approach with this. So I'll have to go and have a think. Right, so I've got a method. we take each lever, and just bend it slightly so that it can release. And these are made of quite soft metal, so easy enough to bend and straighten up again. Right, and now we've got the mechanism free. So we can put the case on one side. So we now have the mechanism screwed down to a board, and I'm going to withdraw the original axle rod and temporarily put this one in to hold everything in place. Okay, so that's in place now, although the original rod is still at the very end. So I'm going to withdraw that the rest of the way, take out the original spring with my tweezers if I can find them. This will do. And now take a new spring. Hold of it with the clamp and feed the temporary rod through that one. Now I can take the original rod and start withdrawing the temporary one so I catch the new spring. That's the first one in. Now I can get the second one. Next spring. Hold it in the clamp. Now if you just compare the original spring with the new one, as well as the new one being slightly thinner, it's also got more of a different angle between the legs, and once the spring's been in use that will straighten out, but to begin with it makes it a little bit harder getting it into the correct position. So I've got to just slightly compress that spring in order to get it to line up with the axle. That's it. And then we just repeat that for the rest of the springs. And that's the last spring out. And that's the set of springs in place. Well, that's that whole job done now. I've replaced the rest of the springs, and I'll get it boxed up and sent back to the customer. So see you next time.